can really affect your mentality.
Well, we'll see if draft has any changes for either squad. Here is Immortals are back on the blue side for this third one final game between the two. Shen banned away, Malzahar banned as well by TL, and we'll see what Immortals do. But we've had some pretty common themes as far as bans go, but we'll see if there are any dramatic changes here. I doubt it, is my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I think that Immortals will likely go back to a more standard composition, have a more diverse damage profile. They've seen that TL has some fight in them, and if you make mistakes, if you give TL that window in, they will punish you, as they did in Game 2.
Graves ban there, Camille ban on the other side for TL, so the first 6 bans should go about how we expect. There's a LeBlanc ban on the blue side.
Now this is an interesting last ban. Varus would be kind of the obvious one, but they're not going to do... So they're essentially going to try to trade Rengar for Varus. So when you leave the 2 up, it's saying we get one, you get the other. And Dardoch actually puts the priority there on that Rengar.
I mean, we've talked about Dardoch and kind of his mentality. Certainly a player that does very well playing with confidence. He is supremely confident on his Rengar. I mean, it's a champion he's known for. It's a signature pick for him, and he's had a lot of carry games on it. But Liquid will get Varus, and he's been banned every game thus far for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, he is ridiculously strong. Youngbin has to have a good performance on this. You know, even last game, though his scoreline was fine and stuff, he still did like half of Cody Sun's damage. He was not really a big factor. It felt like he's more along for the ride. He's very down in the laning phase. If they draft Varus and Karma or some sort of strong laning support, they should have an edge there, and this is his opportunity to prove that he can contribute.
Well, that's Kha'Zix for Rainover, so a solid jungler, but with multiple picks already taken out, including the first pick from Immortals. Rainover is kind of bumped down a peg or two as far as overall jungle picks go. Still perfectly fine start to the draft for Team Liquid. We'll see how Immortals finish up their first phase here. We'll go back to Sivir there for Cody Sun, which I think seems perfectly fine. And again, prioritizing the early mid-champions here. Actually taking away from Piglet, which I like here from the Immortal side. So Purbel's going to get that instead. Piglet insta-locks Cassiopeia, though.
I mean, this is essentially the 5th champion that they're now showing, right? He's, well, at least Immortals is showing respect that he can ban out on all these champions. He played the Ahri, now he's playing Cassio. This is supposed to be an advantageous matchup for Piglet. And if he really does have the flexibility to play this many champions in this many matchups, he may just straight up be a good LCS mid laner today, like right away.
I mean, he's certainly a good player, and that's translated well into his new role.
The funny part is, he's actually looked way better mid than he did in his own role. He did not look good. He looked like one of the worst AD carries in the league all year long, and he has shown up today and played some very strong mid lane games.
And I will say on that, Piglet, his shining moments were still good from AD carry this season, so the individual talent is there. It just needed kind of somewhere else to kind of blossom and be unlocked, and maybe mid lane's that role. I guess we'll find out, but 2 top lane bans for Team Liquid as we get ourselves back into the draft. I like the Renekton ban especially. Flamewall has not seen the champion at all this series, and there's a Zyra ban from Immortals, and looks like another support is going to be Karma banned out as well.
I think that makes a lot of sense. They're trying to take away one of those bully supports from Matt to pair with the Varus. You don't want to give up one of those super strong lane pairings, especially when you're already at a bit of disadvantage there. Matt is going to have to show us a little bit something extra. There's a lot of options on the table. And the thing for Olay is these sort of support bans, I think, hurt him less because he loves playing stuff like Thresh and Morgana and things like that. And with Thresh picked up here, Morgana's actually a good matchup into it. So I would not be shocked to see a Morgana drafted against this. I think that would be pretty clever. It can work pretty well against the Varus ultimate too. They don't have a lot of magic damage in the bot lane to ever pop that. And between Spell Shield on Sivir and the Black Shield, it's very hard for Thresh land hooks.
I do like the kind of theory behind the bottom lane for Team Liquid, though. Give the best AD carry over to Youngbin when it's available to take it. Just give Matt a comfort pick on Thresh, which can also help maybe save some of Youngbin's positioning. Olay is going to go for the obvious Morgana here as Cody Sun takes that. We'll see how they complete the final pick. Looks like TL going to try and counter pick top lane. We'll see what Immortal is going to blind pick into the situation.
It's always interesting to me seeing the Thresh against the Morgana, because you can still make it work either through outsmarting your opponent, making them think that you're going to hook one person, then you hook sideways, hit the other, or through roaming around the map, making plays. There's ways to make it work, but it's certainly tough for Matt, especially in the lane. I mean, how do you really land many hooks into Spell Shield plus Black Shield.
Yeah, and this will be well practiced for Ole as well. Thresh has been around forever, and Ole is clearly comfortable on Morgana. So I think both teams finding comfort for their bottom lanes here. We have Nautilus as Immortals for their final pick. That gives a choice over the Team Liquid, and Lawler will take Maokai, will make his first appearance in 7.4, at least in the NALCS.
And Maokai, first appearance in this series, it really has been falling through completely, and I think that the Maokai nerfs were really underestimated. To me, those were massive nerfs. The fact that the sapling no longer deals damage when it drops means you're not able to clear out those backline of minions nearly as easily. So, before, you throw down the sapling, hits the middle of the 3, then you throw out your Q, the sapling explodes, you kill all 3. You can't do that, so you're always outpushed in so many matchups, and it becomes very difficult.
Well, see if Lawler can manage some of the changes here. Team Liquid have adapted to a lot of change already, and things are looking, I would say, better than expected. Winning a game, I mean, they're definitely expected to win a couple here, but Immortals were looking very strong in the first game. Team Liquid answered back heavily in the second game here. And a series win here is not only more than they could ask for, I think, coming into this weekend. I mean, Steve talked about improvements.
Yeah.
Beating Immortals 2-1 is a pretty big improvement, given all the changes you've made.
It really would be. Even without changes, that would still be a very good result for a Liquid squad that had been struggling all year long.
That's a pretty gross understatement, I think. I mean, Liquid's season was on watch at this point. They said themselves, we need to make drastic changes. They've made them, and they do expect the payoff to take longer than a little while, because you do have to build chemistry and synergy and environments for your team. Immediate results will be nice. Liquid know they have a long road ahead of them, but they have to take it one game at a time, and that's where they are now in Game 3. A win here will give them a win over Immortals, but Immortals really want to keep that top 4 dream alive in this season. Pobelta would love to make a finals on this team. Immortals as an organization would love to make a finals, and if that's the dream of this sort of squad, you need to be making those strong pushes now. These are the critical times for Immortals.
I definitely agree. They need to keep on moving up in the standings. But TL, they can look at this as, as a growing experience, even if they do lose this series. And they're talking about that growth mindset, about looking for constant improvement. And, if you have 2 games like Game 1 looked, then it's hard to take much away from it. With Game 2, you have something to build upon. And I think that is really a positive for them. This is a pretty interesting evade for Immortals. They're kind of going for the long con, hoping that someone was actually guarding that bush and that the wraparound would catch them out. Doesn't work, but then it's just a trade of vision. It's not really much lost.
Yeah, don't actually get very many wards done at all. Just have one they managed to put down. TL have a few more, actually marking 2 camps there over on the right-hand side of IMT's jungle.
The thing with even just the 1 ward, they will see Reignover go towards the red buff, almost guaranteed. As long as they see that, that's enough information. So I think this is totally fine, and you can use that trinket ward elsewhere to hopefully get some sort of an edge there.
Reignover, of course, going to wait the maximum amount of time. Probably knows there's a ward there. You can see TL red ping, so they're going to make sure that they wait as long as possible. Piglet does have the Twin Fang leveled up already, so it looks like he's going to get help from Lolo. We have a tweet in from Shifter weighing in. Piglet getting to one-shot FD carries in the LCS. He's never going back. I trust the man that was playing all the bottom lane zigs at the start of the preseason to know exactly how that feels.
Dude, I was actually waiting for him to just bust out the Corki and stuff. I was like, of course he's going to play Corki. You just take the 80 carry, you put him in the mid lane.
Genius.
Yeah.
Well, instead, apparently you can play every meta mage. So
yeah,
definitely credit to Piglet for the show up already.
It's actually crazy to me that he can show up here and do this well and have the ability to at least draw the bans on all those champions. And this is his 3rd unique champion in 3 games. The fact that he can play all these, he's obviously pretty confident. It wasn't even like there was hesitation on the Cassiopeia. It's not like, oh, I haven't practiced this, guys. Let's think about it. That was an insta-lock.
Well, looking good so far. Looks like a bit of early damage, but again, just trying to keep Rise at Fang's length for as long as possible. Youngbin and Matt looking to get the shove down, but Siva should have that advantage. Kind of curious to see how this bottom lane plays. I expect IMT just want to play PvE for as long as possible. Matt and Youngbin won't find many opportunities to get aggressive, but they need to capitalize when they do.
Yeah, they certainly do. It can be tough if you get pushed in too much, because it's very easy then for Morgana to dish for bindings and really kind of look to get you with that. If Morgana hits a binding, it's a very easy double hit with the Boomerang Blade from Sivir, so you can start to get a lot of poke down if you get them under the turret. But both of these teams want to push their opponents in and get them under that turret.
Also looks like he's out of potion charges already, so Piglet with his biscuits kind of keeping up there. Flame with a nice hook onto Lolo, actually. Getting good damage done. Looks like Lolo just going to chug another bit of corrupting potion.
Yeah, expect Melos to be able to shove in his opponent, try to make him miss some of the CS in the early game. And you can actually see Dardoch is sneaking up in the top lane, waiting in this bush. There is a top lane bush ward though, so he will be spotted out, and that's going to waste a lot of his time and also open up the possibility for Reignover to get something done on the bot side.
Yep, nice binding there in the bottom lane.
Sapling.
From Ole. Does manage to get a good trade down there. Kind of navigating that little situation nicely. But again, Varus and Thresh have so much pressure. And Matt might even push forward now, seeing the spell shield go down, especially with the binding off cooldown. Gonna look to zone it here and just threaten the hook. Or hit it onto Ole, good little mind game. But Cody Sun steps forward. Kind of smart from both here as far as the overall trades go, but there's the play back. Cody Sun could be a bit too far forward, forced to burn that heal to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Sun doesn't get hooked, so he can step forward, but do you want to step forward into that Varus Q, right? That's the thing. The Black Shield is not protecting you against any of that damage. It's no magic damage, so he still has to show that respect. Does blow the heal there. Good early stuff from TL's bot lane.
Reignover just taking away these Raptors.
That's the edge he gets for Dardoch showing top lane for so long. He is able to get a little bit back there.
It's actually about almost a quarter of a level up, I suppose. 5-4 right now, but Dardoch's quite close. Gonna be needs to take another camp, so stealing one away is always nice. And actually does get through the fog of war back towards this left side of the jungle. Lolo teleports in onto Flame. Just gonna get this wave pushing back, and I imagine Flame will TP back soon as well. Double Doran's up for Lolo nice and early.
Yeah, Lolo wanted to try to stop Flame from being able to freeze out the wave. He wanted to either shove it in or force him to use enough spells that the wave would actually crash back towards him. So now he has his choice. I think he should push in and make sure he's forcing out his opponent's teleport so they don't have that advantage.
Early recalls from the mid laners as well, as they've both shown up with some tears. Big, very mana reliant for both Ryze and Cassiopeia, so kind of those early buys make sense. So Piglet right now has a very slim lead as far as CS goes, and I think he's playing up a little more in the lane as well. So we'll keep track of that as Dardoch is back to his old tricks in top lane.
Reignover's up here too, but will not actually be able to really participate in any fights because he is so low on health. That's something that they're going to have to be wary of. I mean, Lolo's trying to shove. Great, your jungler's topside, but it doesn't actually matter if your jungler's topside if he cannot contribute to the fight.
Yeah, wave a little too threatening. Flame going to get this wave pushed in. Hasn't gone back yet either, so it's part of the reason why Lolo is getting an edge at this point. Lolo going to hit the recall button, go back home, spend a bit more of that gold, but Flame should have a nice buy here, given that he's been saving up gold and just trying to get a little bit more CS. You can see 10 CS up actually, kind of his punishment for sticking around, but does actually pay off for him.
Yep, looking pretty good there. We'll see what he actually elects to buy into. There are a lot of options. You can go pretty aggressive, and this is actually a pretty aggressive laning type early buy. With the double Doran's Ring, you are committing to a lot in the laning phase. A lot of people would have gone for something like a Bombing Cinder, or perhaps building more MR or whatever, but he's committing more to the laning phase.
You can see again, it's kind of a big back and forth between which skill shot's going to hit. Is Black Shield up? Matt eats a binding there, but the last one did miss from Ole. Youngbin and Matt, so I'm going to play with a bit more confidence here. Actually 10 CS ahead for Youngbin, which is nice. Able to kind of use the aggression of the Varus Thresh lane to bully just a little bit.
And a lot of it is just really the Varus. The Varus is so good in the laning phase, even though the support matchup should be favored towards Morgana. It doesn't really matter because Sivir does not have the same kind of lane freedom that you do against a Jhin, right? This is a Varus who can poke you out, who has a lot more pushing power, just generally a lot more early game strength.
Matt roaming up here as well through the jungle. Reignover is actually starting to take very firm control, particularly the right-hand side of Dardoch's jungle. This is twice now that Reignover's been in. Got 2 wards down as well. In fact, Pobelta's too far forward. Play's not going to hit, but Piglet's going to get launched in. Reignover really wants it. Thumble looking for first blood, but Pobelta burns both stumps to get out.
Yeah, Matt had to blow his flash there too. So there's more summoners, more important summoners blown for TL, but where they do have their advantage is Piglet didn't use anything. So this is a very scary world for Pobelter to be in the 1v1 against a 2-summoner Cassio when you have nothing.
Piglet also going to get damage done to this turret as Pobelta was forced back after checking out his own jungle.
One thing this could set up on the bot side is with a flashless Thresh, you have a level 6 Rengar, you have Sivir ult, you have the Morgana ult. if Thresh pushes up whatsoever, you can flash on him as Morgana, drop your ultimate, Rengar comes ulting in with Sivir ult. That should be a pretty easy first blood, and I would not be surprised to see Immortals looking for that.
Rainova again just clearing out his own Raptors now, and maybe an attempt on this blue buff as Purple doesn't have enough vision. I think wants to know if anyone's taking it, because Rainova has been pretty aggressively into their territory.
Especially with Lorlo missing too, right? It's the extra worry.
Yeah, I'm actually going to ward it up also, so Immortals choosing not to fight that right now. So they're going to look to take vision on this right-hand side instead. Control ward down, Scuttle Crab over to Immortals. And Matt's ward not quite far enough out of range.
And they could look for this. Ryze ultimate is up. This is a flashless Thresh on the bot side. If they see Rainover, they may try to go for a dive or at least a force on the Dragon. The Dragon is certainly the more conservative option here, but Immortals not always the conservative team.
No, especially when Dardoch is at the helm. A ward out there is going to mean he just backs away, but a blue buff steal is successful. Pobelta, perhaps unbeknownst to him, is actually going to get essentially both blue buffs here. As TO, I think we're looking to make a play on it, but didn't quite have the confidence in going for it.
Yeah, and Rainover didn't really have the health, right?
No.
So Rainover didn't get spotted. Immortals is not able to force because of that. But still, they have not actually stolen away that counter blue. And here's the play I was talking about. They're probably going to commit to Matt. This should be an easy first blood.
Ole getting the Black Shield in. There's the ultimate. Tags 2 for now. Matt's going to get jumped on. Youngman's in the mix as well. First blood go over to Ole as Dardoch getting turreted. TP's in. Cody's stun. Going to get locked up by Lola. There's the Nautilus ult out though. And Lola's doing good damage to the Civ. He's going to have to flash
here
out.
too.
Good hook onto Youngman, but that's not enough to finish him off. And now Rainover, we're going to try and just clean up here. Ole goes down. Flame look to be the next target as Varus is still firing arrows in. And Pobelta is going to make his way down, but I think he's a little too late. Realm Patch should be able to save Flame, and he
nice
does get out. Piglet takes out Dardoch on the back end of that. You can see his corpse just right under the trees, and Team Liquid come out ahead there.
Yeah, they certainly do. They get the 2-for-1 kills. They're going to get that Infernal, and they will get the wave push. So Immortals go for that low-hanging fruit. Easy first blood onto Matt, as I knew they could do. But they get punished as they get a little too greedy to overreach.
Excellent reaction once again from Team Liquid. Able to get themselves 2 kills and an Infernal Drake out of it. And Piglet again has himself that kill. If you look in the snowball that's up.
Scott.
Yeah, Rainover being a little greedy there. Eats a binding and CC'd for a little too long. Lands not quite in range. Pobelta gets a kill back.
Finally punished for taking away those Raptors there. But here's the play. They know it's a flashless Matt. There's nothing you can do to actually get away from the Black Shielded ulted Morgana. But Dardoch did take a lot of damage from the turret, which was key because he can't really participate too much in these fights. Now that Dardoch is low, Cody-san has tried to flash out. Where is the damage for this team? So Flame diving that turret there is pretty big mistake, honestly. He was not there to peel for Rainover. He's not there to actually help his carries and stay alive and contribute something. So does end up living, but still.
And Piglet was so fast to that roam. Like, he took the hard way down behind Immortal's red buff to get down there and comfortably beat Pobelta to that fight.
His roams have been really good, to be honest. He's been quick on the draw to make those roams in all 3 games, really. He's been moving around the map very well, and it seems like a clear strength for him.
Yep, they're looking good. Making sure he can impact more than just the bottom lane. That was kind of one of the grievances he had with the role, and seems to be certainly showing, at least, if not in the role he's now been given, but maybe just in his philosophy. He wants to be more of a carry. Now he's unable to, and it is paying off for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and while I disagree with his sentiment that bot lane can't carry, I do think that if you believe that, it will kind of become true, right?
Yes.
If you're happier in the mid lane, if it fits your playstyle better, which I think it does, because the kind of 80s that Piglet wants to play are not what is in meta, then I think this may work out for him.
I mean, Youngbin, the mid laner, played more supportive champions. We'll have to finish that story another time, though, as Ole, good Black Shield through the Varus ulti. Flame might have been enough to stop Dardoch, but he flashes out.
Here's
Still
Rainover.
gets snared. Rainover trying to play cleanup, takes out one. But it is just a trade for now. TL, though, on the offensive as Rainover gets Dardoch once more. And now Cody's son going to go right to the arms of Piglet. Miasma tags him. Now Piglet's just going to play cleanup. Pobelta doing good damage, but an ult from Piglet's going to try and play cleanup. Pobelta goes down there as well, and it's a mess. 3 for 3. 3 for 4, sorry. Immortals lose 1 extra.
Yeah, 3 for 4. A bloody bot lane fight as, yes, Matt eventually goes down, Youngbit eventually goes down, but they made that fight last so long that the roams are able to come in from TL, and they're able to get something back. And was a good engage, it was a good early thought. Once the binding misses, though, it makes it take a lot longer because look how much further Matt can get back to his team. This allows Rainover to come in, get those early kills. His target priority, very nice here. Cleans up the first kill, and then goes past Pobelter to take out that Rengar who was low HP. So great priority from Rainover there. And they will get mid lane turret as well.
Yeah, it's the first turret of the game. You can see Pobelter did do a nice job cleaning up and getting himself 3 kills, but Piglet, again, a strong roam, manages to clean up the other end of the team fight, and Team Liquid get the objective off the end of the fight as well. That's the thing we were looking at in the last game, and it is very true of almost all games of League of Legends. It's not just what you could get, what you get after it. And Team Liquid are consistently converting positively for themselves while also playing well both proactively and reactively. And that's a pretty good sign for what seems like another new team.
It really is. Infernal plus first turret. Very, very good. And I think a lot of the credit does go to Rainover here, who has looked better than Dardoch once again. He has been able to get a lot of counter jungling done, taking away a lot of that camps. Thanks in part to really a good ward from Lorlo in the top lane. That ward actually kind of started the disadvantage for Dardoch. It enabled Rainover to go in, and that just shows you how much vision matters in this game.
I mean, Team Liquid's vision was abysmal in Game 1, so certainly you can see when the game is much more even, certainly looks improved. Figure with the blue buff though, Abyssal set to now finish, so feels a bit more confident about potentially fighting Pobelter 1v1, but should just see some waves being pushed back and forth. Piglet misses a Q into a cannon creep. It's a disaster. Gets the cannon though.
We'll
80 cannon mentality.
He got the cannon. That's the important part. Pobelter is having his first good game of the series, I would say. I mean, he had a good start to last game, but was not able to really continue that. Has been doing pretty well for himself, but Piglet, 3 for 3. He's looked good all 3 games. I'm very impressed.
A lot to be impressed about. And the gold lead is there for Team Liquid, but it's awfully slim at just 1,000. We've got another big Drake to fight for as well. Second Infernal of the game will be up in a minute 10. There's a teleport in from Team Liquid, getting aggressive. Dardoch might be caught here. Feed trapped into my Asmo. Big arrow there from Varus. And that should be a kill. Lola collects it.
We'll have to see how that play started out, but Dardoch was looking like he was very far up. Seems like he's probably caught counter jungling. Could have been a warding mission, but does get caught, gets punished there. Flame not even going to expend the teleport. And this means bot lane turrets should be going down as Immortals are going to have to back off.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where I could explain the situation to you and you'd probably reasonably guess that Dardoch did something aggressive and died for it. Because that's been the downfall of him in this series and in general as a player. He is so good when he's good and just as bad when he's bad. And that's tough. Dardoch is a player that just needs to find a little more balance. His talent is undeniable, but he just gets himself caught in places he shouldn't be, and Team Liquid capitalize.
You have to show the trust in your team to be able to get things done. And yep, it is that counter jungling mission. He is behind Rainover. He walks up. He's able to get taken out so fast. I mean, yeah, the TPs are coming through. There's no reason for Flame to try to match because he was always going down. There's 5 members from TL. Made a great collapse there.
Yeah. Big commitment, but they do get it as Immortals are trying to take the Infernal Drake as quickly as they can. TL caught on the recalls, and Dardoch having smite means that this should be theirs. A steal almost. A pretty powerful objective is nice, and Ole goes straight in with a flash ulti. Already getting low. Rainover's going to take him down. Nautilus on the back of Piglet, and another great flank. Going to chase out Dardoch and zone a few more. Youngbin barely living on the other end, and now charging up another arrow. Looks for Flame, but not going to find him. And Pobelter forced to realm warp his teammates out.
They get the dragon. They only lose Ole in the end, so it's still good for Immortals, I would say, there in that trade. But it just depends on what TL can get off of that. If they can get another turret, if they can get some pressure, that would be a victory for them. And you know, TL, they were not even close to losing that fight. Ole, he's very squishy at this point. The flashing in for an aggressive play like that usually looks a lot better if you have a Zonias or something, or if there's follow-up. But Dardoch didn't even have his ultimate, so they did not have a lot of follow-up there.
Well, actually, TL might have caught a few in the jungle. That's Flame's flash forced out as Piglet gets himself snared up by Dardoch. Blue buff went over to Rainover as well. So a successful bit of counter jungling, and Team Liquid are trying to force down a tier 2 turret or at least get damage done off that one little pick. This is a pretty big force from them, and Cody Sun's going to get the first turret here. Yeah,
we'll see if they can actually clear in the mid lane. Only a couple minions left, so this turret should stay alive, and Cody Sun staying bot side, picks up a turret, can get back in time to defend. But TL is just going to rotate right back up the top. They have a big minion wave here. should be able to grab this turret.
Pretty long cross-map play here from Team Liquid, but are going to get a trade as a result. This top lane outer turret should fall for Cody Sun's collection of the bottom outer. Piglet again next to Rainover, looking to try and find a pick here. Mid-jungle synergy has looked good here. Feels like Piglet's just able to help Rainover that much more, and vice versa. So
yeah, both players are actually looking a lot better in this series.
oh, another catch perhaps, Cody Sun. Yep, that's your feet caught. That's going to be a kill. No, not yet. Piglet flashes in. Make sure he goes down. That's the second over to Rainover as that ulti went a little short.
Dardoch.
But Pobelter still chased down, just getting slowed. Pretty zippy. He's going to be okay.
Oh!
Big flash hook. Finds Dardoch for another kill, and Piglet's now on a rampage.
Oh my God. Matt with the big play there to clean up another one. And Dardoch has got to be frustrated. I mean, he's losing full control of his jungle. He's 0-4. And TL, they are pushing. They are going to get this tier 2 and maybe even more.
Team Liquid, just a barrage of pressure onto Immortals. They were just sticking in the top side, knowing somebody would do something silly or give them an opportunity, and they took it as soon as they saw it.
Yeah, Piglet and Rainover were setting up that trap with the nice rotations between mid lane and top lane. This is what Immortals did to them in the previous game. And they were able to kind of put the shoe on the other foot there. Really nice trap that they did set. And then this is just great from Matt, picking up yet another kill. And likely we will see that the red buff was stolen away from Rainover 2, and it was. So, I mean, Dardoch has not been able to clear any of his camps in the last couple minutes. Everyone is getting taken away.
Yep, he's down a level as a result. Also, this Team Liquid got 4 turrets to 2 and 3,000 gold. Again, this is within touching distance for Immortals. But Team Liquid have shown pretty good propensity for finding a lead and sticking with it. And if this opens up any more, with the way Liquid have been playing this series, with how that second game went, I don't think Immortals don't have too much resistance to offer, but we'll see if they surprise us.
The gold lead is good for TL, but more concerning is the pattern of play that we are seeing, you know. The fact that Rainover is doing so well. Really, Dardoch has struggled to get involved in this game because it generally has been so goes Dardoch, so goes Immortals, right? And that's often the case with any team he is on because he's such a polarizing player.
Pobelter's back in the side lane, actually pressuring a turret far down in the bottom lane, but Baron is up. And Team Liquid have started it if Rainover's position looks like anything.
This is going to go down really fast. We do see Pobelter running over, but I mean, look how quickly it goes down. They have no vision around this. Now Ole knows. TP's coming in from Lorlo.
Where's Lorlo? Big flank actually, trying to cut a few people off. He's going to try and find Cody Sun or Pobelter, but Dardoch
they're turning
the
for the
flank
fight.
as well. Now Flame going to go back in. Oliver Piglet starts on a 3. Absolutely huge as Team Liquid go into the backline. Piglet's still alive, just fighting it out with Dardoch and Flame, and he's still going. That's disaster for Immortals. Team Liquid, a 4-0 team fight wipe.
Oh, Piglet came up so big there for TL. Massive ultimate. Gets 3 or 4 there. He does not go down. Rainover may die to the Baron, but ooh, he had to smite early.
Ole,
a little bit scary, but
just don't let him seal it. Youngbin goes down and sacrifice himself for the good of the Baron. And Team Liquid open up another big lead.
they have bust this game wide open. Up so much in gold. They have the advantage, and this was actually a pretty decent call from Immortals to turn when they see where Lorlo is. But that is the problem. And the fact that there was a black shield on Flame there, why do you care about Flame getting ultimated? Like what is that black shield allocation from Ole? I think that is such a mistake. If that black shield is on either Pobelter or Cody Sun, Piglet just dies right off the bat because they do not get stunned. That is a massive mistake, I think, from Ole.
And we saw Youngbin's reaction in game 2, kind of leaning back in his chair after a silly mistake that cost him with the Cody Sun flash auto. That reaction from Piglet looks like the face of a man that is confident, and a confident Piglet, doesn't matter where he is, he's going to slay you.
Looks like a 6-0-4 Piglet. He's doing great on this Cassio. Very, very strong. They have incredible late game too with Varus, Cassio, Maokai. I mean, that core, it's very powerful. With the gold lead and the Baron, it's just going to get worse.
Team Liquid again continue to pressure. Going to try and take down another one. Pobelter in the meantime finds himself trying to get sideways, pushing in the right direction, but going to cost his teammates turret here. And maybe they think, okay, we can't defend, but that is very far for Pobelter to be.
Yeah, it really is. And he does spend a lot of time in the sideways on this rise, and you get the farm advantage because of that, but you also can be punished. You can be caught out, your team can get dove, so you have to be aware of that and kind of weigh the advantages and disadvantages.
Well, looks like another turret is going to be sieged up here for Team Liquid. Just going to walk it in. They've got poke from the Varus. Cassio can kind of zone people away. Plenty. That looks good here. As Pobelter actually gets hooked up. They're going to dive in. Lawless snares him up. And the rest of the team is diving under the turret. Chain of Corruption hits, but Immortals back away. But that's time on the turret now. This is going to go down.
I mean, Cody-san is just too low. He's been poked out completely. He cannot really enter that fight. So even though it is a turret dive, there's not a lot of return threat because it's Pobelter and Cody-san. Two-threat team, one's already out of there.
6,000 gold lead and counting now for Team Liquid as they bust down the mid lane inhibitor. This is only 24 minutes in, and Team Liquid are on a pretty good pace to try and end this game in just under 30 minutes. And they're not even stopping. They have so much gold to spend, and they are confidently pushing down, getting maximum Baron buff.
And I think they should be. I'm a bit flabbergasted. I think Immortals is too, because they are looking like a completely reinvigorated team and so much better than game one.
Momentum, we talked about it. They are just riding that wave, chipping down the turret. Piglet's taking tower shots, but Team Liquid will just continue this for as long as they feel like they can. And the super minions will start cascading down mid, and Immortals will run into even more problems.
And they really will. And when they have to answer that wave, it just gets so tough. Thankfully for them, Sivir is one of the best wave clear AD carries, and he even bought that static shift to help with wave clear even more. So they do have that going for them, but you can see every time he steps up, there's a sapling waiting for him, there's a Kha'Zix W, there's a Varus Q, there's so much poke.
Lolo has a lantern that does take it out. Cody-san almost chunked completely out. Good hook from Matt, but a nice spell shield there from Olay. It's going to keep him safe. And Team Liquid may have finally found a reason to go back home. They have like 5,000 to 6,000 gold that's not spent. So that gold difference you're seeing on your screen didn't really exist in that siege, and Team Liquid still felt strong enough to try and force the game.
Yeah, and Reignover can just take the red buff on the exit, pick up a dragon for himself here too. It's so tough for Cody-san to get involved in the fights because of the amount of poke, and I think the evolved W, very intelligent from Reignover, especially in this situation.
Well, they're going to pick up another Drake for themselves. They had pressure building, but couldn't quite stick around long enough to take down more turrets. Baron buff has dropped off, but now the gold has all been spent. And you can just look how full Team Liquid's inventories look. They have just gone back to the shop, stocked up on everything they could buy, and that blue pot in Piglet's inventory says only one thing to me. This game's over, and I'm going to end it.
But they definitely want to fight, and Flame is out here far. He has got to run.
Lolo flashes in, snares him up with the W, and Piglet's just going to keep going. Flame gets knocked up again into the arms of Youngbin. Good pickup there from the Barracks.
Yeah, Youngbin, he's down like 60 CS, but it doesn't matter. He's doing his job. He's getting it done. NTL, without Flame on the field, are looking poised to crash down and perhaps end this game.
Don't you know, Isaiah, all you have to do in AD carry is throw out a good stun or two. Youngbin has been hitting those skill shots. Whereas Piglet's sitting at 6-0-5, set to dominate yet another game.
Yeah, he's looking good, and this inhibitor turret getting very low. Flame is up in 10 seconds. Immortals is going to have to look for some sort of a play, but it's hard to think how they can actually get it. How do they get in?
Oh, Piglet! Tries to end the game on the spot, but they'll take the turret instead. Commits his flash and ulti, but not bad at all.
Definitely not bad at all. They're going to get that turret, but can Immortals get the fight now that he doesn't have his ultimate?
Flame again under fire, but Pobelter is just laying into them with damage. Flame, though, going to get played back in with Pobelter, and there's the kill TL. This is too much power, and Dada diving back in, trying to take on Piglet, but Matt plucks Reignover out to save his mid laner. Reignover going to get low, but he doesn't fall either, and Team Liquid claim another inhibitor.
I mean, Immortals was never going to win that fight in that situation. Dardoch is streaking back and forth in his ultimate. Olay is chunked out on no HP. It's essentially a 3v5 in people that are actually fighting. Even though 5 members are there for Immortals, Dardoch couldn't get involved whatsoever, and neither could Olay.
Well, Team Liquid don't have too much more work to do to take their first series win this week. As we'll watch this fight again. Flame, it just can't do anything.
I mean, just track Olay and Dardoch. Look at how much they're doing in this fight, right? Everyone from TL is contributing. Now Dardoch goes in. He tries to get the execute, but the fight is already lost, and Olay was never able to use his ultimate, never able to use exhaust. He didn't really do anything. It's not necessarily his fault because of the situation he was in, but still, you cannot win team fights with that little of a contribution from 2 of your members.
It's just a good demonstration of how far ahead Team Liquid are in this game. Approaching 7,000 gold, a big wave built up already in top lane, and 2 separate lanes of super minions threatening Immortals Nexus. That left Nexus turret is almost gone, just based on what we can see on the minimap. And Team Liquid, they're going to try and make this one a quick one.
Yeah, it feels like the death push here from TL. 2 inhibitors down, minion waves crashing everywhere. They're going for the desperation fight.
This is it. Flame there gets one in,
Nice
but they're going to stun him up. Pogosa looking for it. Youngmin getting low down. That's straight into the backline. He needs to kill the carries, but they're living for so much longer. Youngmin finally falls, but Piglet's still alive, and the rest of TL can tank them up. There's a shutdown move for Pogosa, and Immortals might just have enough. Piglet, can you do it? 1v3, gets a couple more, still fighting it out. Piglet goes legendary, still fighting, but Pogosa finally shuts him down. Lolo gets the shutdown on the other side, and there's just 2 left.
Oh, Piglet was so big on the back end of that fight, taking out a couple members with almost no health, and Lorlo should be able to slowly end the game here. The tree chopping down the turrets, basically.
Dardoch, 10 seconds left. Olay is the current point of defense as Lolo is just gonna try and take it down. Olay just can't do anything. He's dying faster than minions. In fact, there's the 8 from Team Liquid. Dardoch's up now, but Lolo just gonna keep chugging along.
Not doing very much damage. I maybe spoke too soon.
He's got a G8. He's gonna fight it out. Lolo just gonna keep punching it. He's like, yeah, all right. The rest of you are coming out. I'm gonna leave. Ran out of supers in the mid lane. That was the problem.
How we can just calmly walk out. But here, let's just watch this fight again. This is an incredible engage. The ultimate form Morgana, plus the Rise ult to send Flame in. And if only they had killed Piglet off here, this would be a massively won fight. But Piglet is able to survive at such low HP, and look at the damage he still gets out. It looks like it's going to be a Immortals fight. Then Cody-san walking through the poison, 1E, 2 E's, down he goes. And that was so big. Piglet cleaned up multiple kills from almost no health, so just barely missing out on what should have been a turnaround fight for Immortals.
You can see the one death that stings a little bit in Piglet's heart, but still very happy with his performance. Team Liquid claim Baron once again, and they can just kind of chill out. Let the minions do the work for them at this point.
That said, we see what success looks like for Immortals, right? That was a great engage. If you have the tiniest bit more damage onto Piglet, that's a smashed fight. That's their Baron. That's their way back into the game, right? So they are going to be looking for this. Certainly they're still very far behind, and TL likely will be able to end the game with this Baron. But Immortals cannot wait around. They need to look for engages like that. And it's up to TL to calmly absorb the engages and then close out this game.
Well, Team Liquid kind of just have a bit of paperwork to do at this point. Mid inhibitor nice and exposed. Well, they're just on the front line.
Here they go.
They have to go again. Another good play is going to start off here. Olay straight to the back lines. Who can he get? Olay does stun a couple to turn to the front line, and Dardoch exhausted on the other side. Pobelta going to get chased down and cut down. That should be the kill. Cody-san getting jumped up by Rainover, and Rainover's going to get the kill there almost by himself. Now diving in 1v2 as Piglet picks up the double. Flame's going to get chased down. Olay is left alone again. And this is going to be a win for Team Liquid. Rainover really wants to finish up the game, but Piglet debuts mid lane in style as Team Liquid win 2-1 versus Immortals.
12-1-8 on the Casio for Piglet. Oh my god, I mean, he just had such a good performance from the mid lane, showcasing 3 different picks, absorbing bans, still outperforming Pobelter. I mean, game 2 and 3, that is a TL that you can get behind. That is a TL that is going to win some games.
I mean, certainly obvious weaknesses there for the team, but they said that, you know, it's about gradual improvement. No one expects to make dramatic changes and have immediate payoff. But it feels really good when you do, and that's what Team Liquid get here.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, if Youngbin could step it up a little bit, if he is able to perform on a bit higher level, if we get that kind of Rainover and that kind of Piglet on a week-to-week basis, that is a pretty good team, right? I mean, this is Youngbin being down 120, 30 CS or whatever it is, and he was getting smashed in the bot lane, but Piglet was carrying in mid lane, and a big part of that was his work with Rainover, because Rainover was so good in games 2 and 3, and Dardoch was kind of nowhere to be seen.
And look, for the rest of TL, really solid game from Lolo, I'll say. I think almost underrated, given how good the mid and jungle look for the team, but top side of the map looking really sharp for Team Liquid. And Matt was honestly a liability in too many games for Team Liquid this season with Piglet. For whatever reason, something just was not clicking there. Matt played perfectly fine, solid even. And he has to guide a rookie mid lane sub 80 carry in his first LCS game.
I mean, it worked out, right? They got the win. At the end of the day, they have what, 2 wins on the whole season. Before this, I think they were 2-8. This is another win. That's a big deal for them. And the fact that they've only practiced for 4 days, they just made these crazy subs. The whole team is behind it. It feels like now you have something to build upon, right? And I've got to say it. I, for one, was completely wrong about how Piglet was going to do.
Yep.
I didn't expect anything, and I think very few people will say that they did. But he looked great, and he severely outclassed Pobelter today, which is about the last thing I thought I'd be seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we can really only expect the unexpected from there, and that's exactly what we got. Piglet, a huge series, honestly, in that last game, probably the best looking of them all, even in their loss, looking strong. I think that one death's going to hurt him a little bit. Tarnishes the pride. Feels like a bit of a blemish on the record, because if he come out of that team fight just going full, effectively AP80 carry mode, kiting around, killing everyone, I mean, that'd just be an amazing debut for Piglet.
Yeah, I mean, I think
this is pretty close.
It's safe to say it already was. He, most damage in the game. Probably going to get player of the game again. I mean, he's just looked really, really good down the stretch. Game 2 and 3, and TL getting a win on the board is so big for them. And now for Immortals, they have to regroup, because this was supposed to be their kind of free week, right? They're 5-5. You're supposed to beat Team Liquid, beat Envy, the 2 teams in last place, tied for last, and that's supposed to put you at 7-5 and looking great for playoffs. But now, if you lose today, you have to regather yourself and be able to beat Envy tomorrow.
And it just feels like for Immortals, the same issues keep cropping up. The talent is there. The chemistry is being built. Flame is playing so much better. The team feels a lot more cohesive, but it's not enough to just do that, right? Like, you need to continually play well consistently. That's what gets you strong results in a league, is consistency.
It's consistency. I mean, when you look at game 1 versus games 2 and 3 from Dardoch, the amount of times Dardoch is getting caught out, is invading without warding, is invading with his lanes not pushed up and getting punished for it. It's so much. And for someone to look so ridiculously good, read his opponent, 3-buff him, do all this incredible stuff in game 1 against Reignover, and then fall back to what he looked like in games 2 and 3 is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it certainly is. And in the wake of the victory, let's send it down to Zyrene, who's waiting on stage with Liquid's